Good afternoon. Welcome to the September 9th, 2025 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting this afternoon. We have two items on our agenda. Our first order of business, if you all have had an opportunity to look over the minutes, are there any, well, I kind of jumped ahead, sorry. Are there any corrections to the previous BZA minutes? May I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
And a second? All in favor of the motion, say yay.
Yay.
All right, now we're going to go back and take roll. Sorry about that.
Shantae Hall. Present. Corey Carnegie.
Here.
Melissa Venable.
Present.
Fred Walker.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Terrific. I had my own roll in my head, so I knew we were all here. Our first item this afternoon is BZA 16-2025, addresses 5665 Shoulders Hill Road. The applicant is Enterprise Leasing Company of Norfolk, Richmond, LLC. Ms. Cobb, will you please read the caption?
Before the Board of Zoning Appeals today is BZA 16-2025. The applicant, Enterprise Leasing Company, LLC, is requesting a variance to reduce the required special corridor overlay district rear yard setback from 30 feet to 20 feet for construction of a passenger vehicle rental facility. The property is identified as tax map 12*55*1D, located at 5665 Shoulders Hill Road, zoning classification B2 General Commercial. When you act on this request, you'll be acting on a request to reduce the required special corridor overlay district rear yard setback from 30 feet to 20 feet for construction of the vehicle rental facility. Should the board decide in favor of approving this request, the 8 findings as listed in your package must be articulated as part of the motion. We will now have staff analysis and recommendation by Bill Mellon, Zoning Administrator.
Good afternoon, board members. The applicant, Enterprise Leasing Company of Norfolk, Richmond, LLC, is requesting a variance from the Unified Development Ordinance, Article 4, Section 31-412C, to reduce the required Special Corridor Overlay District SCOD rear yard setback from 30 feet to 20 feet to construct a passenger vehicle rental facility. The property is identified as tax map and parcel 12*55*1D, located at 5665 Shoulders Hill Road, Sleepy Hole Voting Borough, zoning classification B2 General Business. This variance request was advertised in the Suffolk News Herald, and a notice was mailed to the adjacent property owners in accordance with Section 15.2-2204 of the Code of Virginia. The public notice sign was posted on the property pursuant to the request of the zoning administrator. The visuals, we have the general location map in the North Growth area. Then we have the zoning classifications around it. We have B2 to the north, to the east, to the south, and RU, residential urban, to the west. Signs have been properly posted. And here's the site plan that shows the 20-foot SCOD buffer. .5665 Shoulders Hill Road is listed as adjacent to a special corridor overlay district SCOD roadway. SCOD roads, as defined by code, refers to any street or road right-of-way which lies within the SCOD and which is designated as an arterial or collector roadway in the city's thoroughfare plan. The lot area is 1.39 acres per city records. As noted before, the applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the Special Corridor Overlay District SCOD rear yard setback from 30 feet to 20 feet for the construction of a passenger vehicle rental facility. The applicant states that the variance is necessary to accommodate proper building placement and required parking. The applicant also states that the rear yard setback reduction is necessary to allow a functional site layout that accommodates the building and safe vehicular circulation. Approval of this variance request will allow part of the required parking, a dumpster, and the vacuum area to be within the 30 feet, but to be at least 20 feet from the rear property line adjacent to the residential district. Section 31-603F of the Unified Development Ordinance requires a 10-foot wide landscaping buffer along the rear property line adjacent to the residential district, consisting of a double staggered row of evergreen screening trees. This project is currently in the conditional use permit application and review process as required of a passenger vehicle rental facility use in the B2 district. Additional conditions may be required during this process. With the required landscaping standards unchanged by this request and the importance of safe vehicular circulation at a passenger vehicle rental facility, staff feels that this project meets the intent of the SCOD requirements and recommend approval of this application as submitted. I'll stand by for any questions.
Thank you, William. I do have a question. Looking at the map, and I didn't look any further than that, I think it's Caliber Collision that's been recently built adjacent to this site.
To the south?
Yes.
Yes,
And
that's-
it looks like, and I could be wrong, it looks like the way it's drawn, at least on the map that was there, or the map that ATCS had created. This one, you just had it up a second ago.
Okay.
It looks like their SCOD setback to the rear, I mean, it mimics what they're asking for here, but do they also have a 30-foot SCOD setback?
I didn't research that development. I'm not sure how long the building's been there.
Caliber Collision was just recently built within
Okay.
the last year.
They had a reduction as well in the rear, I think. Caliber
We
requested
didn't,
it.
we didn't, it didn't
It was
come here.
administrative then.
Why?
They had BMP and something else over there that they had to redo. But they also had the SCOD setback applied to theirs as well. Pretty sure they had an administrative variance, I think,
How did they get administrative, though?
because it was 30% reduction.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I just wanted to,
Okay.
when I looked at that in the packet last week, I was a little bit confused on why it was on one but not the other, so. Is there any other questions for Mr. Mellons while he's at the podium? Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We will now open our public hearing. Hearings are 30 minutes in length, 10 minutes for the proponents, 15 minutes for opposition, and 5 minutes for rebuttal. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Tyler Rose. I'm an attorney with the law firm Williams Mullen. I'm here today on behalf of the applicant. Have here with me today Melissa Lounsbury and Lindsay Lorson with Enterprise Rent-A-Car and Matt Woolsey with ACTS or ATCS, the project engineer. I want to thank Mr. Mellon and staff for their hard work on the application and for the recommendation of approval. As noted, Enterprise is requesting a variance to reduce the SCOD overlay from 30 feet to 20 feet for the construction of a car rental facility for which we're pursuing a conditional use permit. Due to the parcel's unique shape and the Shoulders Hill Widening Road project, the setback is required to accommodate the proper site design to ensure proper circulation, safe circulation of the passenger vehicles and the building placement. And furthermore, the property is unique in that it was subdivided from the Caliber Collision property to the south of it. And when it was subdivided, it was not properly stubbed for stormwater. So the site actually will require on-site stormwater as part of the development process. The SCOD requirements do not allow stormwater facilities within the setback area. So the setback will also accommodate proper stormwater facilities for the project as well. The final footprint of the underground stormwater facilities will be finalized during final site design, but it's, in speaking with the engineers, that setback is going to be required for proper underground stormwater facilities for the site as well. And we've also spoken with the rear residential development as part of the application process. They are going to submit a letter of support for the CUP. They were not able to submit a letter of support for the BZA hearing, but we have agreed to build a fence along the property line and maintain the landscaping. So that will also be part of our ultimate project plans as well. And also the Caliber Collision, to address your question, Madam Chair, that Caliber Collision site was actually approved before the residential property behind it was approved, and the 30-foot setback in the SCOD is required when there's an abutting residential neighborhood behind it. So also our setback is going to align with the Caliber Collision property line. It's just the timing of it was such that the Caliber Collision site didn't need it, and we are seeking it now. So we will otherwise abide by the zoning ordinance requirements. I do thank you for your time and consideration this afternoon. I'll stand by for any questions and happy to make the team available for any additional questions you have as well.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of this application? Seeing none, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time.
That'll close this public hearing. I did receive an email today, just for my board members, to let you know that the property owner behind the site, who is, I believe, it is the same property owner that sent in this letter that we have received. We did, for the record, we do have a letter that was received by Mr. John Bouchard, who is one of the owners of Creekside at Bennett's Creek LLC, which is the property to the west of this, which is a residential community that you referenced. Initially, I believe he was in opposition to this, though it gave some ability to just talk with you if they had that opportunity to talk with you about adding either additional landscaping or fencing. And it sounds like you have had that conversation, and I did receive an email from him today. I don't know that it went to all of our board members, that he stated that you had spoken and that he was happy with the idea that there would be a fence. So I say that if we are to make a motion for approval, that would be, the condition would be that there would be a fence included with the reduction in the SCOD setback. Did I cover everything? I think I got it. Okay. So I did have concerns when I first saw this when we received our packet, that this was in front of the residential community. In full disclosure, my firms worked on the engineering plans for that residential community, so I was pretty familiar with how the orientation of those units would work. So I think the fence or some additional landscaping would be beneficial. So that's good to hear. Is there anything additional or comments, questions? Any motion?
Motion for approval?
We have a motion for approval for Mr. Carnegie.
And I second that motion for approval.
Second for Mr. Walker. Discussion of the motion. Hearing none, will you please call for a vote? Ms. Cobb?
Shantae Hall,
Yes.
Corey Carnegie,
Yes.
Melissa Venable,
Yes.
Fred Walker.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
And that motion is including the
conditions.
condition of a fence. Yeah. Yeah, and the landscaping, congratulations, thank you very much. The second item this afternoon is BZA 18-2025, 411 Duke Street, submitted by Larry D. Powell. Ms. Cobb, will you please read the caption?
Before the Board of Zoning Appeals today is BZA 18-2025. The applicant, Larry D. Powell, is requesting a variance to reduce the required front yard setback from 25 feet to 9.2 feet for the construction of a single-family dwelling. The property is identified as tax map 35H6L1*K6*K6B, located at 411 Duke Street, zoning classification residential medium density. When you act on this request, you'll be acting on a request to reduce the required front yard setback from 25 feet to 9.2 feet for the construction of a single-family dwelling. Should the board decide in favor of approving this request, the 8 findings as listed in your package must be articulated as part of the motion. We'll now have staff analysis and recommendation by Lisa Marshall, zoning official.
Good afternoon, board members. The applicant, Larry D. Powell, is requesting a variance from the Unified Development Ordinance, Article 4, Section 31407C, Table 407-1, Dimensional Standards J, to reduce the required front yard setback from 25 feet to 9.2 feet to construct a new single-family dwelling. The property is identified as tax map and parcel 35H6L1*K6*K6B, located at 411 Duke Street, Suffolk, Virginia, Whaleyville Voting Borough. Zoning classification RM, residential medium density. This variance request was advertised in the Suffolk News Herald, and the notice was mailed to adjacent property owners in accordance with Section 15.2-2204 of the Code of Virginia. The public notice sign was posted on the property pursuant to the request of the zoning administrator. In accordance with Section 31-309C2 of the UDO, a variance may be granted by the board only if the applicant establishes compliance with the hardship criteria established in Section 15.2-2309 of the Code of Virginia. An excerpt from the state code which outlined the established criteria is attached at the end of this report. To provide some background information regarding the reference site, there is an existing home on the parcel that the applicant intends to demolish to build a new single-family dwelling. On June 13, 2025, a building permit application was submitted by the contractor, Mitchell Homes, on behalf of Larry Powell for the construction of a new single-family dwelling. The submitted survey indicated, which is on the screen there, that the proposed dwelling would meet all required setback requirements. The application went through all departmental reviews, approvals, including Public Works, lot grading, and erosion and settlement, and the building permit was issued on August 1st, 2025. Today, the owner is requesting a variance to reduce the required front yard setback from 25 feet to 9.2 feet to construct a new single-family dwelling. He states his property line backs up to Virginia property lines and is concerned that several large trees may pose a threat to the new home. He is also concerned about a drop-off at the rear of the property. And attached here, these are some pictures that the applicant has provided with his concerns about the rear of the property and the flooding. And this is the survey that he submitted requesting the 9.2 reduction of the front setback. The survey included topographic information. It indicates that the parcel is in a flood zone X and that the land is relatively flat and does not appear to have any significant slope. The dimensional requirements for newly platted lots in the RM zoning district specify that each lot must have a minimum total land area of 10,000 square foot with at least 60 feet of frontage and a minimum lot width of 80 feet measured at the front setback line. This lot contains approximately 15,234 square feet of land area, making it legally conforming. Additionally, any newly constructed home must be at least 20 foot in width. Given that the parcel is relatively flat, has undergone all required departmental reviews, and was issued a building permit reflecting that it is possible to construct a 20-foot wide home on the lot while still meeting the required setbacks, staff finds that the conditions described do not meet the hardship criteria as outlined in State Code 15.2-2309. Therefore, staff recommends denial of this variance request. And I'll be standing by if you have any questions.
Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
This will open our public hearing. Hearings are 30 minutes in length, 10 minutes for proponents, 15 minutes for opposition, and 5 minutes for rebuttal. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this application? Please state your name and address.
Yes, my name is Larry Powell. I'm the owner of the property that we're talking about.
And your address, I'm sorry, Mr. Powell?
My name is Larry Powell. I'm the owner of the property that we're talking about. My concerns is there is a power line back there, and did someone do a site visit on the land? Because it drops off quite a bit. And I got other pictures that show water, and I got other pictures I sent that shows all the trees as well. I just want to build a house. I mean, I've been there since, I'm 67 years old. I've been there since I was 5. I got the house from my mom's. I'm just trying to stay in the community. They're building a lot of houses. I just want the house to have the best opportunity to survive. If a tree happened to fall, I mean, it's gonna, that first tree is, if, I don't have the pictures, but it would destroy half of the house. And it's Fepco property. I mean, I don't know what to do about that. And the fact that it drops off, you know, is making me add more block, like 2 extra blocks in order for to get the house level to do the right thing. I mean, I'm just asking for a chance for the houses to put it in the best position to survive. And all the other houses out there now, all the original houses out there, the older houses are in that, you know, they're not have that 25 setback. I'm just asking to go with the old house, be in line with the old house, which won't change anything. And I've also taken care of the street in front of the house. That's a what you call it, paper street. I've taken care of that street for years. I still cut it, so the buses that come down there have somewhere to back up to. It's a dead end on that side of the street. There's no houses facing that. All the other houses face the other way. I'm just asking for an opportunity. I know she said deny, but it's put burden on me if I can't do that. I mean, I'm just asking, put the house in the best place for it to survive in the future.
So we're going to go ahead and see if there's anyone else here to speak, and then close the public hearing, and then ask you to come back, because I have some questions for you.
Okay,
Is that okay? Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
appreciate it.
Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition of this application? Is there anything you'd like to add right now, sir, Mr. Powell? Is there anything you'd like to add right now?
Like I said, I just want the opportunity for the house to survive in the future, you know, in case something happens.
Okay.
I can't afford to cut trees if I have to put all the money into the house and the extra money to put. I'm kind of at my end right now.
Right. Well, that'll close our public hearing. Mr. Powell, if you don't mind, would you step forward for a second? I do have a couple questions. I actually drew your house. And I shifted it around because I hear what you're saying, and I read the application, and I have sympathy. You obviously don't want to have your backyard right in that RPI or marsh area, but you have a really big driveway space shown.
Yeah,
Is there a possibility, and the other homes probably don't meet that 25-foot setback, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think they're as close as 10 feet or 9.8
right.
feet to the street. So I was wondering if there was some maybe compromise, both on the city's part and your part. I think that the city, and I don't want to speak incorrectly, so correct me if I'm wrong, I think the city can give you a 30% variance to that, which would put you at
17 and a half.
17.5-foot setback. So I was looking at that. If you could shrink your driveway just a little bit.
Yeah, I can- I mean,
and that big concrete
That-
space that
I'm
you
not
have.
I'm not doing all that. That's where he drew. I'm just doing it from the garage and over. I'm not putting all that
So
concrete.
it seemed to me that if you just pushed your house over to the
To the
to
right.
the right, looking at it, but I was trying to find a direction. If you pushed it away from that marsh area and away from that low area, that would behoove you. It would give you a lot more depth for your rear yard. It would keep your house further away from the M2 property and from those trees. If you could just shift it over all to the right-hand side and maybe make your driveway a little bit more straight.
Yeah, that
And then
driveway's-
shift it back just a little, not the full 25 feet, if maybe we could relook at that.
I think actually the survey, that 9 foot, I told the engineer when he drew it, I wanted even with the old house. But I think he took from the porch, there's a porch that sticks out.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
went with the porch. He should have went with the house. I gotta have that conversation
That's
with him,
right.
'cause that's
He
more
wasn't
like
helping you
12
at
foot
all.
back. Yeah, that's more like 12 foot back. The porch is 9, like that's, the 9 foot 2, something I gotta talk, I was gonna talk to
And
him about.
I didn't speak with the city about this, but I have a feeling that close proximity is probably the problem. But I think that there's probably, like I said, a place where maybe you don't need the 25 feet, but being as close as 10 feet isn't necessary. And after the hearing, I can work with you on that.
I
But is
appreciate it.
this something that, and I hate to make you come back, is this something that maybe we can work through and get the right placement for the house? So you don't need the full setback that you're asking for here, we can get the city to give you the approval, and then you may not even have to come back potentially.
In-house after 30%, right? Less than 30%, is like an in-house
That's-
variance?
17 and a half feet in the zoning district is the most that we can do administratively without becoming before the board. So we could do that in-house.
If we can work together, and I know I'm stepping outside of my role here a little bit, but if we can find that number and that works for you,
Yeah, I mean, anything I can, because right now, if you look at that flag that was up, it's a flag that's sitting there. With that picture that you had.
can you,
there's a-
William,
there's-
would you, oh, sorry.
There's a little flag right there. That's the back corner of the.
Thank you, Lisa.
Of the garage. I'm sorry,
This one?
right there.
Right,
Well, there's not that one, go one more. It's a tree.
This one?
See that flag right there? See that right there? That's water.
Right,
That's
for
water
sure.
right there.
we
And
want,
that-
we want to keep you out of that area as
And
well,
that
for sure.
flag is actually where the tree is at, and that's where, it's actually 28 feet from the 28-foot setback. It's only 3 foot within the, 25-foot setback. That says 28 feet something. I'm only like 3 foot within the required setback, where he got me at right there. And that's water right there. Right there, that's that big tree right there. I got pictures of that tree too, the full picture of all the trees.
Right,
I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I
those.
think it's just 3 of them in here. You got this one.
Is that behind that shed?
See that
you
back
got?
over there? All that's water right there. That's the flag. The other flag is the other part of the house. Other
Well-
part of the garage.
if it's okay with you all, because I don't want to give this a denial, but if we could give it a 30-day delay and see if we can get the right placement of the house and work with the city. And then if you need to come back, great, but we'll see what we can get.
Like I said, that driveway, that's something, I'm the only, this the garage. See that the peninsula going to the back?
Yes,
That's the
sir.
garage. Only gonna have concrete for that garage and come back out to the driveway. It's not gonna be that big.
So you need
Thing
to
right
let
there.
the survey company know that also. Make sure,
And
that
the reason why we set it there, because we're trying to live in the house until it's, to it's built, and then, move out, trying to stay in the house and to the other house is built.
Oh.
That's why I didn't come all the way over. We gotta be out of that house. When they start sheet rock, we gotta tear that house down. That's the timeline that we got. So we trying to stay in this, maybe save some money,
Oh, so he's trying to build and keep the other house too, so he can't come over. So you're saying you can't move
I
it?
still think you can come over close.
I could,
Can they
I don't know
build
if they
it
can move
within-
it close enough to
Anything
build with
within
us in it.
5
I
feet
mean,
would
if we
be
can take it
fine,
down, we
but
can
yeah,
move
you
it
can
all the
push
way
it
over
back
to the
either way.
10 foot,
And then hopefully push it back.
If that's what you guys insist, I could do that. I mean, go ahead on, take it down and just bite the bullet,
Yeah,
But I was trying to live in the door. We live in that house right now. The house that's there now, we stay in that house now.
oh, okay.
We living in there. We've been in there for 30
So-
years.
That might change things.
Well, I think you can still, so Jennifer, we have a lot of conversations going on.
Right.
Jennifer noted that the house can be as close as 5 feet, so I think it can still, the house can come over closer to the existing home. The proposed home can come closer to the existing home and move back away from the street a little bit. And we'll see if we can still get that 17.5-foot separation. Is that your surveyor, somebody you can work with pretty
Yeah, that's
easily?
my surveyor, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the surveyor. He jeweled that up for me. But I think he made a mistake with that 9 foot because it's more aligning with the front porch. The front porch, but the actual physical old house is at least 12 feet, at least 12 foot back from this curb.
Well, we're going to go ahead and make a motion to delay this for 30 days for a vote. In the meantime, we'll get the parties to work together to
Okay.
get to a more agreeable setback.
Yeah.
But I certainly understand you don't want to be in that wet area.
Yeah.
So I'll make, if you want to have a seat for a second.
Okay.
If we can have a motion for deferral
Continuous deferral.
or
Deferral,
continuance for 30 days. That's just my suggestion, I guess. I should make that motion. Sorry. We'll make a motion to defer this for 30 days to,
I just got one question though.
Yes.
With this new house, the elevations for it, is it, I mean, if this considered a flood zone, you need to be.
it's flood zone X.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not a
not in a
flood
flood.
zone.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
Okay. So,
They had noted that when they spoke, yeah. So I'll make a motion to continue this application for 30 days to allow for some time to the applicant to work with his surveyor and with the city. Is there a second on the motion?
I second that motion.
We all about to say.
Is there any conversation to that? All right, we have a motion for a 30-day, oh my goodness, my brain, I want to say deferral, but that's not the word you want me to use.
It doesn't matter. If for it to be held next month.
Yeah, except that.
Table it.
We didn't.
Shantae Hall,
Yes.
Corey Carnegie,
Yes.
Melissa Venable,
Yes,
Fred Walker.
Yes.
The motion carries 4-0.
terrific. I think that's our last item this afternoon. Obviously, we have this for next month. Is there anything else?
There are 5 cases for sure, potentially 6, depending on if we get some additional documentation back, and so now possibly 7.
Fantastic. We look forward to seeing you in October. If you just give us a second, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. That concludes our public hearing.